Hi, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching us how to make this Bubu dress slash jacket with shoulder pleats and an invisible belt. If it's something you're interested in, please watch to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So I'll be drafting this first on paper before we draft the fabric because of the size of the cloth. It will be easier for us to understand like this. So the first thing we're going to do is to fold the fabric like this. It doesn't have any joining on the shoulder. So I folded it into two, then also folded it on the top too. So that's the same way you're going to fold your fabric. The first thing I'm going to do is to put in the shoulder measurement, then the length of the sleeve I want from the shoulder point. Then you mark your half length as just a guideline. It's not as if it is very important, you just need as a guideline. So the width of the cloth that you want, most times I'll just necessarily do the hip measurement plus like 8 inches. Then you mark the opening you want at the sleeve point and just curve it down like that. Then the next thing I'm doing here is just to mark the neck width and the neck depth. You form a sharp V point at that part. So now we'll mark out the piece we'll be cutting out that would replace with the strap. That's the colored part that we saw on the cloth. That's the wine part. So you cut it all the way like that to the neck, blend it so that we don't have any pointy tip. So now from this point, I'll just mark the point I want my belt to be. Belt is usually about 2 inches smaller than your waist circumference. So for example, on a fold, if your waist circumference is like 8, on fold that is into 4, you just mark 6. That's what I just did there. I've cut out the front neckline and the back neckline. So that's the point for the belt too. So this is exactly what we'll be doing on the pattern. So for the shoulder pleat, I'll just measure what I want for the shoulder pleat away from the shoulder and away from the tip of the sleeve. Like this, then you just pleat it and tack it down like that. I just pinned it in place. So the exact same thing I'm doing here is what I will also do to the fabric. So this is how it's going to look. Then you attach your belt on the inside. So now to the fabric. I had already cut out the exact same thing I explained earlier. So from the shoulder point, I had marked the pocket opening I want. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to try and draft out the shoulder pleats that I want. I'll try and get out the shoulder, but I am marking this on the right side of the cloth, so I won't make the chalk so obvious. But that is the shoulder point. You know, I said it doesn't have any joining at the shoulder. So this is exactly what you do. Just do the pleat there and you use a pin to secure. So that is it. So the same thing that I've done here, I'll do the same thing to the other side. You mark the pleat as wide as you want. I made mine about 10 inches, so when it is pleated, it's like 5 on both sides. But I'll mark it away from the shoulder point, so it doesn't start directly on the shoulder. It starts like, let's say, 2 or 3 inches below the shoulder. So the next thing I'm doing here is to mark the point I want my visible zip to be attached to. So from the shoulder point, I'll mark the under bust. So it depends on how low you want the belt to be. So you can mark the under bust or about 1 inch away from the under bust. You mark it there. Then from that midpoint, you just mark your waist circumference into 4 minus 2. So for example, if the person's waist circumference is around 8, you would mark 6 inches there. That is 8 divided, you understand what I mean by 8? Like that is 32 divided by 4. That's 8. Then minus 2, that's 6. So now I'm just going to cut out the strip I need for the front. So on fold, this is about 2.5 inches. So that's half inch for sewing allowance and 2 inches is the actual measurement I want. So that's 5 inches like that, but unfold is 2.5 inches. So I just cut out as many as I needed. So what you're going to do is to sew it like that together, unfold. You can just sew it to secure it down to be easier to sew that way. So you attach it to the front of the cloth all the way around the neck to the bottom. So this is it. I had already attached it. I would advise, if you are going to overlock yours, you should do that at this point. It's always easier. And due to the choice of fabric I am working with, it frays out easily. This is a brocade fabric. It frays out easily. So I would advise, if you are doing something similar, just make sure you overlock it. So I've gone ahead to join the belt at that point I marked. So the belt is just a long strip. Just make it very long. So it's better for it to be long than for it to be small. So I'll take it to the machine and sew down, omitting the space for the pocket. Leave the space we marked for the pocket opening, then sew it down to the bottom. So don't forget to secure your shoulder pleat. We had already pinned it in place. Yes, just secure it like that. So from the midpoint, that's from the shoulder point, you just sew about 2 inches away and 2 inches after. So the next thing we are going to do is to join the side. So you join the side and do not forget to omit that pocket opening that we've already notched out. We'll come back to fix the pocket after sewing this. So now to fix the pocket, it's just basically sewing out whatever you had cut out for the pocket into this hole. And usually the pocket is always bigger than the hole that we've created. So from above the notch, I'm going to sew from above the notch, like about 1 inch above the notch point, like that, to 1 inch below the notch point. So you do the same thing to the second side, sew about 1 inch above that notch point and 1 inch under. So just sew that as a straight line. Then you cover up every other part of the pocket that is open. Then the remaining part we have left at that side, you also sew it up. So we are done sewing the jacket. It's very easy. So you can either put like a press pin or a button from the top, that's from the neck opening to the bottom, or you leave it like this as a jacket. So this is the finished look. I hope you like it. Please do not forget to subscribe. See you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.